Now the shower head wall is all finished, and the next thing we're going to do is tile the knee wall. Now, we have a similar problem on the knee wall that we did on this shower wall. If you remember, I waited until I set these two courses of tile before I could establish any vertical alignment. That was because I needed to know the thickness of this back wall before I could position these columns of tiles. On this knee wall here, I'm going to be putting a cove here, and that gives me a certain amount of leeway. However, since I do want these tiles to line up with the tiles on the countertop, that's where I have to make my pickup point for the layout. This is a piece of V-cap that I prefer to use for trimming out a countertop. Now, to make my mark, I set it on the countertop, shim it out a little bit to account for the thin set that attaches it to the face. Then with the square, I run the mark up this side of the pony wall. Then with this square here, I run the line across. Then I use the level to continue the line down plumb. That way, all of these joints here line up with those on the countertop. If you follow the way I've been using the notch trowel, you'll see the problem here. I should be using the smooth edge. If you use the notch side of the trowel to initially spread the thin set, you could reduce the bond strength by as much as 50%. This tile extending beyond the edge of the wall is no mistake. It's part of a full tile only layout. Here above the pony wall as well. And once all the pony wall tiles have been set, I'll coat the exposed backs with thin set and fill the resulting channel with mortar. Here, nails and tape keep the tiles from sliding around while I straighten out the top edge of the tiles. The final step is to slip in the spacers, and you can see I've already partially coated the backs with some thin set. You know, sometimes there's an advantage to not using float strips at all. That's the case here on the front of the pony wall. It's a lot easier to wait until the tiles get set in place. Let them get nice and hard. That way you can use the edges of the tile for the screeds. With a section this narrow, there's no reason to go hunting for a straight edge. Up top, if you look close, you can see the thin set that will ensure that this mortar sticks to the tile. The procedure here is the same for any other type of mortar bed. Pack it in, pile it up, and then cut off the excess. Back here where I don't have a tile to use, the wood float serves as a temporary screed. A little bit of leveling and that section is done. All right, I think it's about time. This job had a curve in it, so let's get over here and do this cove.